Hey folks, it is I, Jen, and nope, that sounded weird. Hey folks, my name is Jen, and today we're going to talk about all of my Unread books. So, this list is probably subject to change, just because I have gift cards to Barnes & Noble, and I am planning on using those after the holiday season, just in case I happen to get more. These are gift cards that I got for my birthday, so I'm gonna wait until after the holidays, so that way I can make just one trip to the bookstore and get some goodies. So I might have things to add later, but I'm sure that will be some type of haul in like January or February or something, so you'll see that then. Today we're going to go over all of the books currently in my possession that are unread, some of whom are sitting on my nightstand of shame, which is why we're starting out in the bedroom. And then we're going to move into the office slash filming station to take a look at that big bookshelf full of all of my other unread books. This is a lot of books. I have not counted them up yet. I'm honestly kind of afraid to. I will say as a disclaimer that there are several that I'm counting as unread, but I have technically read them before. It's just it's been a while, and I'm looking to revisit them to see how I feel about them now. Or the first time I read them, I didn't own a copy. I got it out of the library, I borrowed it from someone, I read it in school, and now I have a physical copy, but I just want to read it at some point. I also have several books on my shelves and whatnot that I have borrowed from people that will be going back to them eventually when I read them. So yeah, but most everything is my own and my deep shame because I haven't read them yet. For the coming 2024, I have some reading plans and other things like that that I will probably make a video about in January just to go over things then, but I'm thinking I'm not going to put this video up until the end of December, so maybe I'll have them in quick succession so it won't be weird or anything. But anyway, the books that I have, I think we're about to get a cat visitor. Hold on. Yep, we have a cat visitor. There's a Banks. Don't you chew on those. This one has a habit of chewing on the corners of my books, don't you? Yeah. Off. Okay. Jeez. Starting with the books that are in my bedroom currently. So first of all, pulling from the absolute mess that is my nightstand of shame at the moment, we have two of V. Schwab books, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. These are books 2 and 3 in the Shades of Magic trilogy. I have read A Darker Shade of Magic twice. I absolutely adored it both times. Actually picked up book 2. You can see my Nico bookmark is chilling in here on page 45, and that's where I stopped. I didn't get any further than that. Why? Fuck if I know. But yeah, I really need to read these two. Speaking of books 2 and 3 in a trilogy, I also have A Hope Divided and An Unconditional Freedom, both by Alyssa Cole. These are both historical romances set during the Civil War. Again, book 2. I am on page 36, and that's where I stopped. So I really need to read those as well. Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier. This is the first book in a trilogy. You'll see the other ones on my shelves. I got even less of the way through. I got like 9 pages in and never went back to it. So, You Give by Angie Thomas. Again, this is one that has been on my list a lot. I am 100% certain though that I said this is one of my priority books for the year, for 2024. So more about that either this video or probably in my reading plans for January video that I'm planning on putting up in January. You'll probably hear more about my priority books then. But, if I have not managed to finish Count of Monte Cristo, that's a priority book. And then The Witches by Roald Dahl. Again, this is a reread. I haven't read this since I was a kid, so I really need to finish reading that. I've got a couple of books here that I got for my birthday that I haven't hauled yet. One of them's not exactly like a reading book, but the other one is. It's the illustrated Hocus Pocus. We have Murder in Memoriam by Didier Dynick. This, honestly, this is one that I'm probably going to pick up in January. Sahara's over here because I wanted to do a reread of it. The Sea Hunters is over here because I started doing a reread of it and didn't finish. Same with Beloved. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I read this in college. There's all like my little notes and underlines in here from college. I really want to do a reread of this. The Fall of the Year by Howard Frank Mosher. I got partway in and didn't finish reading. Sudden Fiction, which is an American short story collection. You can see I only got a couple stories in. My Fine Fellow by Jenica Cohen. I'm actually surprised that I haven't gone back to this book, but I don't know, I lost interest, but I really need to get back into this. I'll probably save this for the springtime, maybe. And then this one is Duchess of Death, Unauthorized Biography of Agatha Christie by Richard Hack. I only got so far into it because it's a chapter about Archie Christie and I want to punch him in the face. So I stopped reading. But I really need to get back to that too. Then I've got this stack right here, which is actually from November that I didn't get back into. So I've got The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan, first book in the, my god, Trials of Apollo. Jesus. The Trials of Apollo series. Read Book 2, The Dark Prophecy. Book 3, The Burning Maze. Book 4, The Tyrant's Tomb. And Book 5, The Tower of Nero. So I can then pick up The Chalice of the Gods, which is the 6th Percy Jackson book. Sadie by Courtney Summers. This should not be surprising. This is again on my need to read list. And then also Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Ink Death by Cornelia Funke. I know, we've hit yet another year and I still have not picked this stupid thing up. So, Bite Me by Christopher Moore. Cultish by Amanda Montell. This is a nonfiction book that I want to make a priority in 2024. The Dark Days Club. This is by Allison Goodman. More books that I started and didn't finish. We have A is for Arsenic by Catherine Harkup, which is another nonfiction book. This one will probably take me a while because I am annotating it, but it's not for pleasure or for a video. It is for my writing project. So this is one that will probably take me a little bit longer to get through. Then I have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I really desperately need to pick this up. This is also, I think I also made this one of my priority reads for 2024. So this I want to get to this winter, most definitely. Pyramids by Terry Pratchett. I started it, stopped reading it in favor of reading other things at lunchtime, so need to get back to that. Don Quixote. This is another shame of mine that I was not able to get further than a chapter in this year. I think I also made this one of my priority reads for 2024. I really desperately just need to pick it up. The last couple that are in here, Raise the Titanic by Clive Cussler. Really need to get back to this one. I might save this for April. And then on the bright side, I'm now the girlfriend of a sex god. I really need to finish reading this and continue vlogging, because I did start a vlog to reread the first 7 books in the series and then finish the series by reading the 8th, 9th, and 10th book for the first time. So I really need to get back to that. It's just going to take me a little bit, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to devote an entire month to slamming through this series, or if I'm just going to do it over time. We'll have to see how things work out. And I also really need to get back to If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. I really liked this. I liked the writing, but it was kind of rough content-wise, so that's why I stopped, because mentally I was like not feeling great while I was reading this, and I was like, I need to take a break from this for a little bit, and I really need to get back into it. So let's see, a little Binksy Bean right over there. Let's move into my very, very messy office. Oh my god. Let's move in, because I didn't really want to put my decorate for like Christmas and stuff like that until I filmed this, because I'm gonna have to move things out of the way. So hopefully next video that I do in front of my shelves, which will probably be my November wrap up, you'll see festive, nice shelves. So here we go. Okay, it's kind of it's little stuff, and that is a fucking disaster. Okay, let's move the librarian. So, okay, we'll start with the first shelf. I do have them organized by genre, so let's go here. So the first shelf is like sci-fi and fantasy. Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. So Close to You. And This Strange and Familiar Place, and these are both by Rachel Carter. I thought they were a duology, but I was looking them up recently and realized, nope, they're like a trilogy. So, guess I'll have to track down the last book after I read these two. A Well-Timed Enchantment by Vivian Vandy Velde, and this will be a reread. All Systems Red by Martha Wells. Heir to the Empire, which I started and need to get back to. Dark Force Rising. And The Last Command. All of these are the Throne Trilogy by Timothy Zahn. I read these in high school, but I just really want to reread them. The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, which I'm also like, I'm excited to read. I'm also a little nervous because I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but the synopsis sounds awesome. Okay, this one won't stay up. It is Time Cat by Lloyd Alexander. The Girl Who Chased the Moon by Sarah Addison Allen, which is also a reread. The Never Tilting World by Rin Shipeko. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, which I've heard is freaking awesome. The Princess Bride by William Goldman, which, fun fact, I adore the movie, but I've never read the book before. Eon by Alison Goodman. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, which I also got like a chapter in and didn't finish. Need to get back to it. The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. Shield of Three Lions by Pamela Kaufman. Dragon Mark by Charlene Kenyon. Son of the Shadows. and Child of the Prophecy, both by Juliette Marillier. These are the other two books of that trilogy I mentioned. Lamb by Christopher Moore. Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Marino Garcia. Guards, Witches Abroad, I Shall Wear Midnight, and The Shepherd's Crown, and these are all by Terry Pratchett. This shelf is more fantasy, action, adventure, romance, horror classics. Yeah. We've got The Goonies by James Caan. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. Pyramid by Rick Riordan, which is book 1 in the Keene Chronicles. The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Atlantis Found by Clive Cussler, which I read years ago, but really, really want to reread. The Devil's Sea. The Celtic Empire. Dragon, which I don't remember if I read this one or not. Shockwave, which I definitely have read, but want to reread. And The Chase, and these are all by Clive Cussler. I think all the others are Dirk Pitts, but this is one of his historical fiction novels, which is like an Isaac Bell mystery. It's set in like the late 1800s. Yeah. We Are Pirates by Daniel Handler. Not Your Sidekick by C.B. Lee. Between a Rake and a Hard Place by Connie Mason and Mia Marlowe. Carolina Moon and Blue Smoke, both by Nora Roberts. Holly. Firestarter. 11/22/63. 4 Past Midnight. I have read The Langoliers, I just haven't read the others in here. The Institute and The Outsider. I have the terrifying Jack sculpture. Finishing off this shelf is this really nice copy of Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. And Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. So this shelf is classics and mysteries and graphic novels. The Prince and the Pauper by Mark Twain. Our Mutual Friend by Charles Dickens. The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I've read this, but I read it in high school, so I want to give it a reread. Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. Emily of New Moon, which I've read. I just want to reread it because I recently got Emily Climbs and Emily's Quest, and I haven't read either of those. The Scarlet Pimpernel, which I really, really need to get back to. Heidi by Joanna Spyri. Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. The Complete Short Stories of Mark Twain. So we have Black Coffee, which was adapted by Charles Osborne. I think this might have been a play of Agatha Christie's. I could be wrong though. And Why Didn't They Ask Evans, which I really want to read soon-ish because I really want to watch the movie. The Mystery of Central Park by Nellie Bly. It says a novel, so I'm guessing it's a fiction novel. I have a couple of her non-fictions, which we'll see. So, It's Always the Husband by Michelle Campbell. Postmark Murder by Agatha Christie. This contains a Caribbean mystery, which I do already own, but it also has Nemesis, Murder in Mesopotamia, and Appointment with Death. Ransom River by Meg Gardner. The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. Skeleton Man by Tony Hillerman. Hawthorne's short stories. The Shivering Sands by Victoria Holt, which I've read a bunch. It's just over here because I'd like to give it another reread. I think I want to read through all of these Victoria Holts that are right here. These were my grandmother's, and I ended up with them after she passed, so The Captive I read years ago. Daughter of Deceit I started it but didn't finish. The Demon Lover. House of a Thousand Lanterns I read a couple of years ago. The Landauer Legacy. Lord of the Far Island, which I reread a couple of years ago and still really enjoyed it. The Mask of the Enchantress. I might not revisit this one. The Road to Paradise Island. I read this years ago and really want to give it another read. And The Time of the Hunter's Moon. The Haunted Bridge by Nancy Drew. Nope, not by Nancy Drew. It is a Nancy Drew. It's by Carolyn Keene. Deserves to Die by Lisa Jackson. The Girl Who Played with Fire. And The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, both by Stieg Larsson. I started reading book 2 and wasn't digging it. Book 1 I love, but for some reason I'm just not into book 2 that much. Death Echo by Elizabeth Lowell. Bone to Pick, which is over here because I want to reread it because I want to read Skin and Bone, and these are both by T.A. Moore. Anatomy of Evil by Will Thomas. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And The Watchmen, which are both by Alan Moore, and I have read both of these before, but it's been years and I really want to reread them now that I own copies. So first we have The Sun and the Star, which is a Nico D'Angelo adventure. I'm very excited about this. It's by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro. I think I need to read the other books in the series before I get to this one, though. There's City of the Beasts, Kingdom of the Golden Dragon, and Forest of the Pygmies, and these are by Isabel Allende. We have The Little Book of Huga, Danish Secrets to Happy Living by Mike Viking, The Opposite of Fate by Amy Tan, Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, Anything Can Happen in Vermont by Marguerite Hurry Wolf, Small Sacrifices by Anne Rule, Poirot and Me by David Suchet, Homework by Julie Andrews, Zealot by Reza Aslan, Notes of a Native Son by James Baldwin, The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker, 10 Days in a Madhouse, and Around the World in 72 Days, both by Nellie Bly, The Grey Fox by Mark Dugan and John Bosnecker, Scenes in the Life of Harriet Tubman by Sarah H. Bradford, Alexander Hamilton Revolutionary by Martha Brockenbrough, Cold Blood by Truman Capote, Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow, The Sea Hunters 2 by Clive Cussler and Craig Durgo, Cary Grant by Mark Elliott, Audrey Hepburn, An Elegant Spirit by Sean Hepburn Farrar. This book in a sleeve is the complete writings of Benjamin Franklin. Good Stuff by Jennifer Grant. Women of the Golden Dawn by Mary K. Greer. The Narnian by Alan Jacobs. Roadside History of Vermont by Peter S. Jennison. I Married Adventure by Osa Johnson. The Keeler Reader by Garrison Keeler. Animal Vegetable Miracle by Barbara Kingsolver. This actually was one of my textbooks in college. You can tell by the corners that I folded down, but I want to give it a reread probably. The Secret Diaries of Miss Anne Lister, which I really need to get back to. The Man Who Made Vermeers by Jonathan Lopez. My Captain America by Megan Margulies. Theodore Rex by Edmund Morris. The Great Northern Express by Howard Frank Mosher. Code Talker by Chester Nez. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. Rights of Man by Thomas Paine. The Definitive Book of Body Language by Alan and Barbara Pease. Will by Will Smith. So my bottom shelf is out of control, and also I can't put my camera down that far. I'm having trouble with that. So I'm going to bring books up so you can see them. So first we have some manga. I've got the Wild Ones series by Kiyu Fujiwara. I have read volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I want to reread them because it's been a long time since I've read them, and I want to continue with volume 5 and volume 6 in hopes of finishing this manga series soon. I think it's like a 10 or 12 book series. Then I've also got the Queen's Knight series by Kim Kang-won. And this is, I think this is actually manhwa, so it's Korean, but I have volumes 1 and volume 2, which I've read before, and then I've also got volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5, which I need to read, and I can't remember how long this series is, but I'd really like to finish this soon. And then we have another one, which is After School Charisma by Kumiki Sukane. This, I feel like this needs a full disclosure because of one of the volumes in here. This is a futuristic manga series about a world in which there are clones of famous characters, except for the main character, Shiro. Basically, so you'll see them, famous characters, Joan of Arc, Napoleon Bonaparte, some not so great ones too. So that's my full disclosure comment for this series, is that they've cloned people, many figures of whom maybe they should have thought about before they cloned them. You know that whole saying from Jurassic Park, just because you could, you maybe probably should have stopped and thought, should you though? I'm butchering that, but yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, so I've read volumes 1, volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. So I've read those, but I I have not as of yet read volume 5, that's the unfortunate one, volume 6, volume 7, volume 8, and volume 9, and I think this is a 10 or 11 book series, so I'd like to finish this one soon as well. I've got Hidden History of Vermont, which also research book, need to get back to. Then we have Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. Really want to get to this in 2024. I have the rest of the Jordan Nicholson series that I need to get to. You saw book 2, so here's book 3, Knocked Out by My Nanga Nangas, Dancing in My Nude Pants, Away Laughing on a Fast Camel, Then He Ate My Boy Entrancers, and Startled by His Furry Shorts. I've read all of these. It's been years though. And then the last 3 that I will be reading for the first time is Love is a Many-Trousered Thing, Stop in the Name of Pants, and Are These My Bazumas I See Before Me? Then I've got En el Tiempo de las Mariposas. This is the Spanish language version of In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez, which I have read like twice, and I absolutely adore it. It's such a it's a heartbreaking story, but it's so good. It's so beautiful. Yeah, this is the Spanish language version I originally got, so I can reward myself and use it as motivation for continuing my Spanish studies. Ooh, I don't know if I'll ever be able to read this in the language it was intended in, but we'll see. I do have my original copy in English floating around somewhere, which I would like to reread soon. We have Sarabon for Two Sisters by Philippa Carr, The Trackers by Charles Fraser, The Hamilton Affair by Elizabeth Gobbs, A Time for Silence by Philippa Carr, which I actually read like years and years ago, but would like to reread. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I really need to get back to this at some point, but the trouble with this is when I read the book and watch the series at the same time, which is what I was doing, it becomes my whole personality, and I've just been kind of putting it off, so I want to get my TBR more under control, so I have the time and ability to make that be my entire life for a while. So yeah, this will be, well, not anytime soon. I also have Dragonfly and Amber, as well as Voyager that I need to get to. Victoria by Daisy Goodwin, An Acquaintance with Darkness by Anne Rinaldi, The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, which I started but never got through. I really want to make this a priority pretty soon. Caramello by Sandra Cisneros. This is on my priority list for next year. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. The Lady Who Liked Clean Restrooms by J.P. Donlevy. I got this last time I went to the book barn. I don't know what to think about it, but I think it'll just be like a fun little random read. Maybe if I decide to do like a weekend readathon vlog thing next year. I'm hoping to do a couple of those, so I'm thinking this will be good for then, because it's just like a quick little fun thing to read. Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. I loved this book as a kid. Oh my god. Loved this book as a kid. Have not read it since I was in elementary school, so really want to reread this, probably in March. And the last book is Saving Fish from Drowning by Amy Tan. So that is it, folks. That is everything that is unread currently on my shelves, unless I'm forgetting something. I have a really bad feeling that I am forgetting something essential. Future me will deal with it, right? But yeah, this is everything that is unread. I guess you could consider this my unofficial 2024 TBR. There's no way that I will read all of this in 1 year. That's absolutely fucking insane. But I am hoping to get to a good chunk of these. I'm not planning on doing the read what you own thing, just because, like I said, I know that I'm going to do the bookshop for gift cards after the holidays, and then I am also, my friends and I are also planning maybe another trip to Book Barn sometime in the winter. So I'm not going to make a goal for myself and then know that I'm not going to hit the goal. I think I'm trying to go into 2024 being slightly kinder to myself. I think I've been a little bit too hard on myself this year, even if it hasn't seemed like it from videos. Internally and off camera, I've been really hard on myself, so I think I'm just going to be kinder to myself and not do that kind of goal. But I do want to try to read at least 52 unread books on my shelves that by the end of 2024. So that's something, at least. And I did manage to get over my reading goal this year, so we'll see. Anyway, this is everything. Let me know if you've read any of these and you think I should get to them sooner rather than later. Let me know if there's any in particular that you're really interested in hearing me talk about whenever I eventually get to them, and I'll try to remember to, I don't know, yeah, whenever I get to it, make sure to tag you or something in it, I guess. Or again, maybe I'll try to make it more of a priority read, so you can hear my thoughts and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.